Welcome to AM Visuals Podcast, our first episode here. And what are we talking about today, Jay?
Today we'll be talking about freelancers and working for a company, working with VAs, and should you provide RAWs to your clients?
Oh, that's a doozy. I have much to say about that one at the end there.
All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to episode ep.1 of the AM Podcast. Cue music.
All right, so the first topic that we got on hand at the moment is freelancing versus working for a company. Which do you choose? Is it better for you? Do you have what it takes to become your own boss? So this is a topic that is very close to my heart because I've tried both. I've been on both ends of the spectrum. So freelancing is actually a great opportunity if you want to work for yourself. You have the flexibility, the freedom. You set your own price. You work on your own terms. But I think there's a huge but in the sense of like owning your own business and freelancing, because you need to have the resiliency to go for the long yard. You know what I mean?
So tell us, how did you get started with, freelancing? What were you doing before that? What made you jump into freelancing, and how did, the business come about where it is now?
Now we're talking about AM Visuals, how it came to becoming like a 6-man crew now, right? How did I start freelancing? I literally just picked up a camera. I just wanted to explore this avenue, my hobby, and just wanted to make a living out of it, right? And everything that I was doing before, I did not like it. So I decided, look, this is my hobby. I love what I do with it. I've been learning it for about 10 years now. It's time to pick up and go with it, right? So it's thanks to COVID that everything happened. I just jumped ship and just started my freelancing career.
Look where you are now. So I guess for some background or some background context, you initially started working at a camera shop.
Yeah, that's correct. So now, when you start freelancing, this is what I've come to understand. Freelancing, there's a lot of like glamoring that goes behind it. People think that owning your own business, freelancing, you make a ton of money on your own term with like whenever you want to work, you just get out of bed and don't have to do anything half the day, and you work for like an hour and you make like $1 million, right? It's not the case, bro. It's not the case at all. Like freelancing is about the whole term feast and famine. And you and I, we both understand it. Like when times are good, times are really good. But when the famine comes, we're like dirt poor. And this is what I found out with freelancing. And to be able to combat that at the initial stages of my career, I literally had to work part-time jobs and night jobs and like weekend jobs just to be able to fund the career that I'm lucky enough to be in right now. So yeah, so first camera shops. You're talking about like weekend weddings, little birthday parties, all those little things that we don't usually do anymore here at AM Visuals.
Yeah, we don't really do personal events anymore, guys. And if you want to book us, we'll have to happily decline because it's not our thing.
We reject you 100% of the time. 100% of the time.
We're more focused on the commercial side of things, council work, uni work. We enjoy business, which is why we've decided to niche down. Not quite niche enough, but we've decided to niche down just doing commercial events, as it's what we enjoy. And look, that's a common theme, I guess, that I've encountered in this industry and in industry, or that where successful people really say that what they did to kind of grow their business from 5-figure, 6-figure, 6-figure, 7-figure is that they niched down on one particular thing. So, definitely something that we would.
Is that what you're trying to say to any freelancers out there that are trying to make it in the game?
Yeah, look, for example, we've got a friend, Phuong's mentor, actually, the guy got him into videography, David Miller. He owns Mayday Media, so he specializes in just luxury real estates, right? And from just doing that, he's basically grew his business from a one-man show to, what's his team now? What, 3?
About 3 people now.
Yeah. But then he's also landing all the big name clients in that industry, and also stealing clients from other. Not stealing, but like winning over clients from other.
Winning over clients is the right term.
Yeah,
we don't steal in this.
We don't steal. We're all friends in the industry.
We know everybody.
But what he was able to do, because he focused on just luxury real estate, all the luxury real estate agents started noticing him and started noticing his work, and by just niching down, he was able to build a brand for himself, a name for himself, and that's a prime example of why you should niche down on.
Niche down and become a freelancer if you know what you, because like the topic that we're talking about, like trying to tie this one in with David Miller and how he was a one-man show for the last 3 years, right? And he pulls in 6 figures easily by himself doing what he does. But what Jay's trying to say is that he was able to do so by really focusing on one aspect of videography and not doing anything else on the side, and just like pulling himself like left, right, and center to make the money.
Look, it's tough. Like, I do understand that a lot of people think that if they start niching down, that they'll be giving up a lot of the work. It's true. Yes, you will be giving up some work, but then also, in turn, you'll be seen as the specialist in that market. Thus, everyone would then want to work with you within that niche, right? So you're giving up a bigger chunk of the general pie, but you're getting a more specific chunk of that business. So yeah, definitely one that's harder said than done, right?
That's right. I mean, like working on a freelancer and like figuring out what to niche on, it takes, I would arguably say, years to figure out like what you actually want to do. I mean, at the start when I was freelancing, I was doing everything: weddings, food shoots, photography, videography, drone, everything, right?
And you kind of realize that what you like, right?
Yeah, it took a little while. It took a little while to build the business, but the other point I want to touch on with freelancing is that you can't do it all by yourself. Like, you are literally, as a freelancer, you are stretched thin across all departments of the business. I'm talking about accounting. I'm talking about, finance. I'm talking about doing the work and whatnot. So this is another thing that I noticed in my career, is that I was not able to do it all. I spent the last 2 years freelancing, doing things by myself, and I was not able to find the level of success we are finding now. And we're still very far from success, like the way people think about it. But when I'm saying success is that I was able to offload a lot of the tasks to other people who are much better at the job that I was doing beforehand. So, for example, you have Jane in the company who understands every single aspect of the company, but he's able to sell that to the customer. He's able to connect. He's able to find leads and figure out what people actually need in their business for us to be able to help them out. And we have our technical visionaries, Jerome, in our business, who understands cameras, audio, everything, right?
He's basically a nerd. Tech nerd. I work around tech nerds.
Yeah. And then we have our girls overseas that we'll talk about in a bit, who are very good at editing. And we throw all the work their ways, and we're able to play to our strength, right? So there's this book. It's called The E-Myth. Have you heard about it? Okay.
I haven't heard of it.
So The E-Myth is basically a business book that tries to figure out like why businesses fail in their first year. So the saying goes that 80% of small businesses fail in their first year. And that's usually because people are trying to do too much all at once, okay? And they're not patient enough. Now, the book actually categorizes three types of personality in a business, okay? You have the entrepreneur, you have the technician, and you have the manager.
Oh, there you go. That's an interesting book. I haven't ever heard of
I've got it. Like, you have to read it, because it really helps you understand like where you stand in the business. Now, me personally, I stand, like, you don't have to be one or the other. You don't have to be one or the other, but you can be one or two of each, right? All three are very rare. Now, if you talk about David Miller, I reckon he's more of a technician and entrepreneur, right? You're a manager and entrepreneur, like if you really think about it, and I'm the technician and manager. Okay, so the technician is the guy who understands the work. He's right deep in it. He's thinking about nothing else but like figuring out the best way to attack this job and making it, like finishing it up, right? The manager helps the technician point his prowess, his technical prowess to a certain degree. Whereas the entrepreneur, he's the visionary in the business. He drives the business to a certain level, right? So I think as a freelancer and as a small business owner, you have to understand your personality in the business and offload parts of the business that you are not very comfortable with. So if you're a person that say you understand the work, you're very highly technical, but you also know how to manage, maybe you need a salesperson who drives the business. And usually CEOs are like at that level. So I mean, this book is very, very interesting because it really does help people understand the how to operate a small business and make it past your first year.
Wait, when did you read this book?
I read it like every so often.
You read it every so often?
Yeah, I've got it on side
as
of
in
my bed.
you reread it?
Yeah, it's on my bed.
Like you reread it every so often, or you read it every often?
Every so often, I bring it like a couple pages and whatnot. So
that's mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I used to actually read a lot, but at the moment I've been struggling. I don't know if it's because I've just had a kid or what, but I feel like I'm very time poor, and every time I get some downtime, I just don't want to do anything. I think your mindset definitely shifts when you have a kid. I've noticed that myself too. I've gone from really hungry in terms of wanting to do everything in the business to, oh, hey, look, I think I need some downtime with my kid because I don't want to miss this opportunity. Because they say that the first 4 years of life is, you can't miss that, or else that's it, because they don't go back. They don't go back to being that small. So,
and I don't expect you to take that time away.
No, but at the same time, yeah, like I can't understand the pain of new parents now in terms of trying to juggle business and fatherhood or motherhood. It's tough, man. It's like you stress out because like you stress that your business is not doing well, but then you want to put more time to your business, but you don't want to because you want to put some time in your kid as well. So it's fine.
I'm interested. Like I think we should do an episode on this as well.
Yeah,
like
okay.
how do you balance how do you balance life and business in general?
I don't think you do. I think if you want to be successful in business, I think you got to put everything into it 100%.
That's the problem though, because there's so many people. Like you've seen all the prolific entrepreneurs out there. It's either they are billionaires, they're really good at what they do, but their life sucks. Yeah,
well, that's true. Like look at Elon Musk, look at bloody what's his face, Jeff Bezos. Like,
do you want that though? Do you want that? And that's the question that you have.
I've changed like when I was younger, but at the moment I think your mindset shifts to like you want to obviously make enough money to support your whole family, but also you want a balanced lifestyle.
Yeah.
It is something that. Look, it's definitely a whole episode in itself, but it's tough.
Let's definitely deep dive into that.
Hey, young Jerome, please bank that topic for next time.
Yeah.
All right, so you've got an article here, something from a council saying that what percentage of small...
it's more of like the source of where I got this from, where like, you know, the saying that how 80% of small businesses fail in their first year.
Yep.
And it's usually the case where people are not very self-aware enough to know where they want to go in terms of becoming a freelancer. Now, that is not to say, like the other part of this this section as well, is that is not to say that freelancer is the end all be all. You can certainly like create a great career, have a good life balance, and earn pretty good money by sharing your expertise and becoming part of a vision that is already there. By that I mean like finding a company that you really believe in, the people that you really believe in, you work well with them, and just throw yourself into it. At the end of the day, if you find a company that values you, you're gonna grow with them. You know what I mean?
That's true. Look, I think that there's a lot of, let's say, shit talk that goes out there between entrepreneurship and working for someone else. I mean,
I was certainly one of those people.
Yeah, I know you're one of those people.
Like,
100% I know you're one. Like, for me too, I can't see myself ever going back to working for someone else because I just value my freedom too much. And how you get that freedom, I believe, is your own business. Obviously, you do ridiculous hours, but at the same time, you also have that freedom. There's pros and cons.
What do you say? It's a curse. It's a curse and a
blessing and a curse.
Yeah,
double-edged sword, basically. But yeah, look, just I guess, and this topic, freelancing versus working in company. Like Phuong said, if you enjoy what you do, and if you love working for someone else, yeah, just do that. Don't worry about all the hype and the shit talk that goes out there.
Yeah, just be very clear. Yeah, very clear what you want to do.
As long as you're happy, and if you got that family life balance and the work life balance, and yeah, why not? But look, we were talking about managers, technicians, and entrepreneurs. Speaking of technicians, our next topic is about working with VAs. So now, there's a lot of platforms out there that helps you find VAs. And heck, the other day on LinkedIn, actually a guy approached me asking me if I needed any VAs. Funny enough, I asked him, hey, what's a value proposition that he could offer, opposed to what we're currently doing, which is we use a platform to find our own people. And look, he couldn't really answer that. So, in short, we're not going to be using him.
Was he a VA or was
No, he was a local Australian that was looking to, I guess, find. He's a recruiter, basically, finding VAs for other businesses like ourselves.
Oh, interesting.
He said that, look, our value proposition is that, we pay them and in tax, and also, he vets the recruits. But at the same time, like, look, I can do everything you just mentioned. Like, why would I need you? Is it like...
I mean, we did spend some time in figuring out the platforms to use to find our own VAs.
Yeah, look, I understand new businesses or businesses who are looking to start using VAs would probably be interested in. But with us, we've kind of found... a method that that works for us, and with me, because they'll be working so closely with the team, I ideally would like to have a hands-on approach into finding the right people.
Yeah.
Look, we've had VAs in the past where I think weren't quite right for the business, and it's really about the attitude. If attitude and of course skill sets, but mainly attitude, because are they willing to learn? Are they willing to adapt with the business, and and what that's like. But
I have a question for you in
Yes,
this regards.
go
Like,
ahead.
I think this is a question that people ask a lot of the times. Is like, what's the difference between getting a VA or getting an onshore staff, or someone that's like
Massive.
full time here, right?
Well, pros and cons, I guess. Look, pros and cons of VA. Let's go with pros first, right? Pros, obviously, number one, agency life is expensive in terms of human resources. If you hire all onshore or locals, you'll be basically going bankrupt very quick. So basically, we've got a team of 4 VAs overseas who all have their own like special skill sets that they kind of complement the business, or also the skill sets of the team. And basically, for the price of I'd say one local, you're able to pay for the whole team over there, right? And obviously, there's the skill sets of communication, the workload is a bit different, but you kind of have to adapt to that and understand and really manage your expectations of what level you're going to get. But you also have someone here to be able to QC or quality check the work that's being sent out, because obviously the work that you're going to get is maybe 75-80% of where you need it to be at.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of quality controlling and making sure that the work is done properly.
I used to read, like, Tim Ferriss's book, 4-Hour Workweek. That's where I got the idea of VAs.
4-hour workweek is
Well, I think he said that in one of his podcasts as well, where the 4-hour workweek is a what's it called, a hook to get people to read the book. So, but like, there's a lot of value in it, like, and to help you understand like how to work with VAs and whatnot. But like the application of it is very hard.
The concept, no. Don't get me wrong. The 4-hour workweek concept is good. Like, it tells you how to optimize your time and how to efficiently use other people to get your job done. But just thinking about 4 hours, 4 hours is nothing. I could sit here making 2 TikTok videos and that's 4 hours gone.
I got 24 hours.
Yeah. No, but 4 hours is nothing, man.
I think what people really want to know as well, like, but just to before I ask these questions, like with a 4-hour work week, yes, it gets you with the idea of like how to optimize your time and be more effective and understand how to use your staff more properly, like, by using, how to delegate properly. So when I read that book, I was like, yeah, VA everything. No, nothing onshore. Like, we just work from home and that's it. It doesn't work like that. You still need a body of staff here in Sydney, right?
Yeah.
To be able to as middle managers. Like I was saying before, how you need managers to delegate to the technicians. This is what you need to do.
Yeah.
Now, I think regarding VAs, right? I think one of the big questions that people would want to ask you, or ask, like, how is the question is, how do you train the VAs, and how do you optimize their workflow?
Look, it's I think the biggest obstacle is finding the right person that will gel with who you are. For example, I've got a VA that I work closely with. I kind of treat her more like an EA assistant. to myself. So what she does is she helps me with all the social media stuff and any other smaller graphic stuff that I need her to do. And I basically contact her every day. And what I found is that when I was training her opposed to our other team members, it was so much more easier because she understood, she had the skill sets, and she also had an amazing attitude where she's like, yep, I can do this, I can't do this, hey, can you help me out? So communication is everything, really. If they're not able to communicate with you properly, and obviously because they're offshore, they're from other countries, their English may not be up to standard, and that will, I guess, in turn affect how you train them. I remember our very first VA that we hired, she's still working with us, which is great. But at first I was like, oh, she's struggling.
It was hard.
No, it was hard.
Yeah.
Like we sent her the most basic work. She didn't really get it until a month on, and then she finally started picking up the work. And then and she's now she's sweet. We just sent her work.
I think 2 months was a sweet spot in terms of like training and like getting them to understand the ropes and whatnot.
Well, a friend from another agency says that usually 3 months is what they need in terms of the training time and to determine if they're actually going to be a good fit for the company. Unfortunately, yes, it does. It will require some time and some capital to train them up. But once you got them up to speed, I'm speaking for Jerome here, but he's pretty happy with them. He just sends them work and they just do it. He doesn't really need to do much. You need to set the process. I think that's a lot of the workload as well. It's just setting up the process so that they understand everything, and then just letting them go off on their own.
I think the other thing that you need to think about is trust.
Yeah.
You need to be able to, like, I've seen so many business owners where they don't even trust their staff with the cash, right? Like they always think, oh, is that person gonna like cheat me, or they're gonna take my work and go somewhere else and like take the things I taught them and create their own business. But at the end of the day, it's all about how you want to trust your staff. If you can't trust your staff, you can't trust yourself, and that's like, never going to work.
If you can't trust them, why do you hire them? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
But look, how we work in terms of our sourcing process is we set about like work examples for them to do, or trials that they do. I remember when we were trying to find our copywriter, yes, we do hire offshore copywriters because they're amazing. But what we did is we had them go through a couple of tests, or rounds of tests and interviews, so that we could determine that their skill sets were good and also their personality was good. And when we found them, we just treat them well. When you find a good one, you got to treat them well. I think
attitude is huge. Like I'd rather hire someone with lesser skill than someone who has a shit attitude, but like better skills. Like it's easier to work with someone that has good attitude and are willing to learn and willing to communicate. That's a big thing as well. Then
I guess we can both attest to this in the sense that we've had our fair share of hiring other staff members who are always no. Oh, good God! Like, yeah, it's just it makes it very difficult when the client when the staff is like, no, we can't do this, or no, we can't do that because of this. But at the end of the day, like, I know it sounds shit, but I'm hiring to do it. Just get it done.
Yeah, that's
dude.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that the wording is like, you are hiring for you to figure out a way.
Yes.
You're not saying no up front. You find a way, and if it still cannot be done, then you can say no.
To be honest, before, like, I thought this was a cliche when everyone was talking about, hey, look, I want to hire someone that with a can-do attitude. I never understood that. I'm like, it's just can-do attitude.
It's such a buzzword.
It is such
a HR buzzword.
No, but then you realize, like, after you go through that bad experience, you realize what that means. Like, oh crap, okay, that's what it means. And now that we've gone through it, we know what to look for. For example, our what's called production lead now. He's pretty good. Jerome, young Jerome.
Jerome.
He knows how to look for stuff. You tell him to do something, he just gets it done. It's good. It's sweet. It makes everyone's life much easier. The reason why I guess we hire staff is because we want to free up our time so that we can focus on more higher level stuff or more visionary stuff so that we can push the business. Right? If we are always stuck doing the day to day, how do you get anything done?
I also want to add as well is that when you're hiring staff, for us as business owner, we're not here just to make the big bucks, right? We're not here to get all the money. Like the company makes the money and distributes it to the people that are working here. So you know what I mean? Like you can't think of it. People can't think of it as we're here to exploit everybody that's
Yeah.
under us. That's not how business work.
Yeah,
Business
that's
doesn't work like that, right?
You know what's funny though? Like, you've been hearing all these companies or people saying, "Hey, look, I make a 500,000, or I make $1 million," but you don't really see all the overheads.
Yep.
Dude, like I could say we make 50 G's a month or 60 G's or 30 G's, like, but then you don't realize that everything goes to the rent, the staff, all the other expenses that we have. It's not really going into our pockets.
As a business owner, it's a totally different mindset, a totally different lifestyle as well. Like, how if you work for somebody, you know exactly how much you're gonna make at the end of the year. Like that figure defines your willingness to work for somewhere. But as business owners, there's no clear salary.
No, it's not.
There's no clear salary.
Wait. What salary? You get paid?
Oh my god.
No, so look, we're getting a bit sidetracked. I think again, this is another young Jamie.
Another episode.
Put this in the notes for the next episode. But look, VAs, I think you definitely need them because it's so cost efficient. And I think it's honestly unsustainable to think that you can manage an agency or a business with just onshore stuff. It's just the amount of tax, super, and salaries you pay is just not sustainable. So look, definitely need VAs to scale your business. If you need any advice on how to hire VAs or any tips, let us know in the comment section below, or reach out to us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever. And then we'll be more than happy to help you guys out and also offer some knowledge.
I gotta say though, like coming back to the whole freelancing and whatnot, it does feel nice to have a team. It does feel nice to have people to bounce ideas off and like joke around with. Like working as a freelancer, as your own boss, and working from home by yourself, sometimes it gets really boring and you just don't want, sometimes you just have no motivation to do anything.
Not just that, you can always hand off the work that you're not good at or you enjoy too much to team members that actually enjoys doing it or are really good at it, and that's the best part, I believe. Working
together, we're a social animal, people. We need a team. We need a team, like in anything that we do, in just need a team.
Being conscious of time, let's move on to the next topic. Topic number 3. Should you provide your raws to clients who ask for them?
No.
I say yes.
No.
All right. Look, a common question that all photographers or videographers get at least once in their career, right, is should you or can you provide me the raws when the client asks for it?
This is an age-old argument, though. It's just like it's so hard. Like everyone has their own opinion.
Honestly, 90% of the things of the articles or the Reddit forums or any other forums I've read online, they all say that no, they're all against it. But then, as a business-focused person, I'm not focused on the production side. That's not my forte. I don't care about the technical side because I hate it. I don't hate it. Okay, I'm lying, guys. I don't hate it, but it's not my skill set. But as a business-focused person, mine says yes, you should provide the roles to maintain the relationships between the client, right?
But as a creative, I'm saying no, because you're taking that like that. That is such an integral part of my job, and you're taking it away. You're giving it to somebody else.
But what is the fear that you're scared of?
I'm like, a lot of the times when I'm giving away roles, I'm afraid that people are going to edit it in a way that is not representative of my style. They might botch it, and they're like, "Hey, this videographer shot it," and someone else might come across and is like, as a referral, and look at that work and say like, "Hey, this videographer is shit."
Yeah, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Look, I understand. I totally understand the argument, but what about the argument that, hey, look, let's say, right, scenario, story time, guys. Let's say you were hired for a job for just a shoot and dump job. So basically, shoot and dump means you just shoot and you provide them the raws. Mm-hmm. That's the agreement for the shoot, right? So they hire you for a day, you shoot the whole day, you provide the raws to them at the end of the day. The next day they come back to you and say that, hey, look, I want you to edit the raws, right? And then you do. For example, right?
Okay.
It's the same thing, right? And they got the raws and they can do anything they want with it, right?
But that's a separate contract in that.
No, I think where where the issue lies is the communication part between the client and the provider.
Okay.
In the sense that if that in the sense that they should have already agreed upon what happens with the role post shooting, or if you do provide the roles, it should that should be agreed upon, right?
That's correct. I mean, like the thing is, if you're going to be providing, as a creative, when I think about this contractual like scenario here, is if you're going to be shooting and dumping and you're providing the roles to the client, they have no right to say that those roles are coming from a particular person.
A lot of these issues, I believe, really lies, the solution for these issues lies in an agreement, really, saying that, hey, but at the end of the day, are you going to chase them up and sue them? I don't know. But look, yeah, it lies in an agreement where you state that, hey, look, I don't provide roles, or if you want the roles, I charge you this much. If you're worried that they'll take those roles, give it to someone else to edit, and then you lose the business. But then again, my argument for that is that if you're really worried about them taking the roles and giving it to someone else and losing the business, just incorporate the fee in your cost, right? And then just say, hey, look.
Yeah, okay.
Say instead of charging 1,500, charge 1,800, and there's the roles as well. So
I mean, as a like on a business standpoint, it makes sense to provide that as a goodwill gesture because, like, you do at the end of the day, you do provide them good value, which entices them to come back to you and work with you, like in the long run. Because in this game, especially in this game, like clientele are very personal people.
Yes,
right.
Correct.
So it's not like where you just go to the shops and buy a piece of gum and go and you don't think about like who sold you that gum. No, our reputation means something in this business, right? So yes, so I will agree with you in saying that provide the role just for relationships on a relationship standpoint, right?
Yeah, look,
for the benefit of relationships. Sorry.
No, I think look, yes and no, but I think that most of it is obviously this whole question is a gray area because it's so vague, right? In the sense that you could, let's say you're Sony, right? You wouldn't obviously provide the roles to a client that asks for it because excuse my language, beep, you're Sony, right? Because you can't say no. You got your grounds to stand on, right? If they really want to work with you, yeah. But say you're a freelancer or someone, and then you're doing regular work for a big company, like you're more inclined to say yes, right? I mean,
yeah. Well, you have no leverage.
Correct. Depends on who you are, right? Depends if they really want to work with you or not, and just say, hey, yeah. So look, it's one of those topics that's
a very conflictual.
Yeah. In my view, I would always be inclined to say yes, you can have the roles, but then but then I'd probably most likely incorporate in the cost.
Yeah, I'm still gonna reluctantly say yes, like reluctantly. Like if it's like, it depends on the client. If the clients they're not very nice.
Yes, correct.
If it's not very nice, you're less likely to give them more, to throw them a bone. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So we've had our fair share of crappy clients, but at the end of the day, it's all about relationship. It's all about relationship.
Yep, that's right. All about relationships.
We're out of time. Do you have anything else to add to the conversation, Mr. J?
No, I don't. I think if I say anything else, I think we might go extra over time. Yeah. So Jerome might yell at us. There's quite a bit of topics for next time as well. So look, thank you guys so much for listening to the first episode of the AM Visuals podcast, where we talk a lot about what it means to be in the media, creative media industry, especially for content production. Yeah. You guys can always reach us at our email, listed in the show notes, or check us out on social media, and you can see all our works there. Thank you very much. Thank you.